She found her focus, the beast awoken.
What are some misconceptions that people have of Muslim women or Black Muslim women?
That we just don't, like, we're mad sheltered. I think people like be surprised when like Muslim women be coming out like rapping some songs, or they be singing, they be dancing. I'd be like, yeah, we do normal things too. Like it's be like that we don't do nothing. Like we're just all from strict households, and we don't play no sports, or we don't do like things that everyday people do, you know?
Tell me about just being a Muslim woman in New York.
There's a lot. In New York, we are very diverse here, especially in the city. So I never felt, see, now I can't say that. Because when I was younger, it never was a pressure on me, or like I felt like I was like different from anyone else. I would say after obviously 9/11, things changed tremendously. I feel like after that, everything changed. And then being a Black woman on top of being a Black Muslim woman is definitely just after that.
So did you deal with a level of Islamophobia? And if so, can you tell me of like a specific time?
So for years, like after that, I would be very hesitant to wear my scarf around my neck because, you know, you don't want anyone to harm you, or you don't want anyone to judge you for things that, you know, that happened on 9/11. But walking to school, and then all of a sudden, like, this car drives past, and he rolls out his window and says, I don't know the exact words, but he was like, "You terrorist," and then he like spit out his window and drove off. And it was just like the most scariest, saddest moment that I probably experienced. And after that, like, I don't know, after that incident, I would wear my scarf like in a bun. So people would like just assume that I was like Rastafarian. But I just didn't want people to know, like, if you would ask me, I would say, yes, I'm Muslim. But for you to just look at me, I didn't want you to view and just see me as a Muslim. You know what I mean? Because I just didn't want that to happen to me again. And people are just like, you know, mean and like scary out here. Like, so, and I was young, you know, and I had to go home. My father would explain it to me, like, you know, it's going to happen, like, there's crazy people in this world, and like that shouldn't affect, don't let that affect how you feel about yourself and your religion. But it definitely did have an effect on me, for sure. It probably wasn't until maybe like 3-4 years ago that I finally was like, forget it. Like, you know, I'm not going to let people determine or how I feel about my religion or myself, you know.
You started your Instagram, what, 4 or 5 years ago?
It was 2012.
Okay.
Yeah, but before that, my my handle was Lovely Surprise. I don't know. Don't ask me why that was I don't even know how it came up.
Wasn't the O a 0?
Because somebody else had it. And as the years went on, you see Instagram change completely.
So was Instagram, or was that like when you started to become more confident in yourself? Did you find your confidence first, or was it like people noticing your style and like, yo, this is really dope?
That's a good question. Because I was very, very, very insecure when I was younger. Mostly because I was like, I'm still super skinny, but before, like, when I was a kid, people just tease you for just dumb things. You know, kids being mean and stuff. Right. So I always used to get teased for that too. So that just, my self-esteem was whoa. And I feel like it was me first. Because it was one of those things where I was like, Rayya, if you're not about to be eating 5 times a day, okay, if you're not about to be working out, lifting weights, then why are you complaining? Because you could change it if you really put your mind to it. So if you really want change, then you're going to have to go through it. And I feel like, for me, I was like, I'm too lazy for that. So we're going to have to work something out. And like, and, you know, and I feel like after I came to terms with I'm not about to do all that work, I was like, Rayya, you are fine just the way you are. You know what I mean? I feel like people are going to talk regardless, because some people just like to just be mean because they have their own insecurities. They want to project onto you, and that's just gonna be that. And I will say Instagram did help though. You hear it, you keep hearing it. It's like maybe there's something here. Maybe I am, I am okay. And I think that has helped me. But it's definitely yourself, because people can tell you tell you every day, but if you don't believe it for yourself, it's not gonna, it's not gonna go well with you, or you're not gonna believe it. So
stop.
thank you.
But you, no matter how skinny you think you are, or you are, girl, you're cute. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
So your first endorsement, was that Nike?
No, I never worked with Nike actually. I work with for sneakers. I work with Puma, but that was this year, and the brand called Sorel. Yeah, I never worked with Nike yet. That's a goal though. Thank you for speaking it into existence. We're gonna next year, 2021. But my first one, like working with a brand, it was Netflix actually, and they paid me $200, and I thought I was rich. I was not excited. But that was in 2018. I didn't know people was really making money off of like Instagram like that. So I was like, oh, I can do this. Like, but to see my growth from then to now,
right,
is it's a great feeling. I think this year, even though it's not the greatest year, I did sign with an agency, and so that was a goal of mine. And the fact that it happened this year, I was like, whoa, that's crazy. Of all the years this year. But yeah, I feel like in certain aspects, especially in the influencer world, it's so much harder for Black women. Like there's a pay gap, it's all that. And it's crazy to think that here we dealing with it too. But yeah, but it's gonna happen for me.
To just be for clarity. So that first deal, or that first that Netflix deal, that was 6 years after the Instagram started.
Right.
It wasn't an overnight thing. But was that your intention when you started to see your followers go up? Or you like, okay, this could actually be something, let me try to do that? Or was it just like, I'm gonna just keep posting because I like to?
I just love to post. Like I just really enjoy sharing my outfits, taking pictures always. Even the times where we used to over edit everything, and I loved posting my pictures. So I think it just grew, and as the times go, everything changes too. So yeah, and then when it happened, I was like, I think that was just a sign for me, like, oh, you could take this seriously and it could really be something.
I know you have to put in a lot of time, whether it's editing your videos or pictures for content. How do you balance that out, like your social life, and then also making sure that you're creating enough content or consistent content?
Girl, I'm still trying to figure it out. I feel like you always gonna make time for people that you want to see. You know what I mean? Like even us talking, and I feel like the people that I am close to, they understand too, because we all have our own lives. So, we make time here and there. But I know for myself that I know I need to make a specific day to shoot content, because I literally shoot almost like every day. Because if an idea comes up in my head, I'm so like, I have to get this like before it leaves. Like I have this creative idea, and I'm like, I don't know how to balance it out.
Okay, you gotta rest. So
I know. I know.
So from evolving from a place where you were insecure into this person who embraces who you are, and I even saw that in your bio, and be true. And I love that, because that is you to a T. Okay, you are so New York, you are so you are so Black, and I love it all. I just like, all right, yes, ma'am, I am for it, and I am not gonna follow her ever.
Yeah, I'm all for that.
How does that transition come about? Like, how do you evolve into this person who I guess sees something within themselves when you didn't used to see that in yourself?
It has a lot to do with the impact I have on others. So like when I get messages of girls saying like, you inspire me and stuff like that, it literally keeps me going. And I feel like it definitely adds some confidence to me because it's like, yo, I'm doing something right. You know what I mean? Like, I'm actually out here. Even though I'm just being myself, I'm still impacting others. So I feel like that has made like my confidence go through the roof because it's like, it's affirming, you know what I mean? Like, okay, sometimes I have my days where I'm like, am I doing the right thing? Like, I be praying, I be like, yo, show me a sign. Am I doing it? Like, you know? And to get messages like those, I feel like it just keeps me going. You know, it influences me as well. But yeah, I think that has a whole lot to do with like my confidence and not where I am now. And I feel like I always tell people to stay true to themselves, because when you're genuine, you don't have to fake it. Like, you don't have to, like, when people meet you in person, you don't have to act like how you are on social media, because that's who you are already. So it's just so much easier to keep the same person throughout, you know. And when people see that you're genuine, they're really going to follow you because they like you. And then when you create a business, people really buy stuff because they just like your personality, they just like you. I've seen that, and I've done it before. Like, oh, I like her, I'm going to support her. You know what I mean? So when you stay true to yourself, I don't think you could fail, to be honest.
That's a gem right there, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Stay true to
Okay,
yourself.
I can't snap with my left hand, but we go.
Yes. What has been your biggest stumbling blocks?
I think for me, especially being on social media for so long, I think a challenge of mine was that I would compare myself to other people all the time. When I would be like, or let's say they have not going to say a little less following than me, but at the end of the day, they get so much more love. Like, that was me before. Or like, this person don't really do much. I don't want to sound like, I don't know how to explain it, but like, they don't have to do much, but like, they getting all these deals, and it's just like, why not me? Like, you know, thinking that in my head. And instead of me being like, now I'm like, yo, that's dope. And I'm sure they got to where they are because they worked hard, or everybody's journey is different. So me comparing yourself, it does not do anything for you, but literally damage your self-esteem, but also like, it just makes you like this jealous, bitter person. You know, I felt myself just being like, that's, you know, just hating for no reason. Like, you know, when I'm like, now I'm here in this moment, and I'm like, I think it has to do with a lot of insecurities too, and you not feeling good about yourself. Because now that I'm okay, like, and I feel so much better about myself, I don't sit there and look at the people. Like, you know, I'm doing my own thing. It's gonna happen on my own time, and that's what I've learned. But I think that was my biggest challenge on social media, was definitely comparing myself to other people. Like, I think dealing with personal stuff and still having to post and be active. Right. Because like now, like, me going through a move, and what else is happening? Me being broke, and that's me being really honest. Like, people see stuff and they automatically assume certain things. Mm-hmm. And I feel like you have to keep this smile. You have to keep like, or you think you do have to keep this smile. And when you really just should take a break, you know what I mean? But it's like, no, I can't. Because if I, it's not like you always feel like this pressure to post, even though you may be like going through it. So I think that's another thing, like learning to like step away sometimes, and that's okay. And the people that really support you is going to still be here, you know. No one is pressuring me at all, but you know, you just have this in your mind. It's just your mental, like, if I don't come back quick enough, like, what's going to happen? Like, so I just never ever take a break. Like, I just don't. Like, even now I should be, but I just don't. I feel like, but also this also brings me some type of joy too. I think that's why I don't. Like, me posting the pictures that I take, because it is work, okay? And I love the outcome. And I just like posting, like, you know, so that also brings me some type of happiness. So I feel like if I'm not doing that, then I'm just going to be sitting down watching TV and just being in my own thoughts. So I feel like as much as I do want to unplug, this does have some type of benefit to like my mental too.
Words of advice for anybody else who is wanting to start something, mm-hmm. but feels either fear or anxiety or insecure, mm-hmm. what would you say to them?
I'm gonna be a hypocrite because this is me, but I know, because you know everybody gives you this advice, and I totally agree with it. It's like just start. You know what I mean? But I'm that person that's just so I'd be scared for no reason. A lot of times we just think of failure before anything, but we don't. If we don't try, how are you gonna know you're gonna fail? You know? So it's one of those things where just fear is literally in your head. Like failure is in your head because everybody does. Even if it may not be their whole business shuts down or whatever, it may be something small that they find as a failure, but they pick back up and they keep going. I feel like if we don't start, we just not gonna know. So 2021, we are going to start that business. We're gonna start taking pictures. You're gonna edit whatever you want to do. You're gonna do it because come on, we see 2020. Life is short.
Okay, last question is kind of deep. So what are some personal things that you are trying to tackle or heal or grow from in this next year?
Like one would probably be like being more confident in my work. Because at times, like if I'm not, like if I take a picture and I like it, but then I'm like, what if other people may not like it? I'll go send it around in all my group chats, be like, how y'all feel about this? How y'all feel about this? Instead of just, because everybody has different eyes, you know, and not everybody's going to see the same thing. So if I like it, if I love it, post it. Oh my gosh, I cannot take back criticism. Like, it's horrible. Like, I always take it personal instead of really thinking about like, okay, this person has a point. I'd be like, no, you just hating. Like, instead of just being like, you know what? You're right. Let me look back at it. I'd be like, because I take it like, I work really hard on this. How do you not like this? Like, you know, person is really trying to look out for me. I'm going to try to do better at like criticism, especially bad criticism. That's important. You know, not everybody's going to agree with you on everything that you do.
I would say on the criticism part, I don't believe in good and bad criticism.
You don't?
That's what helps me. Because I used to, girl, I'm sensitive, okay? Very
I feel that.
So, you know, somebody telling me, oh, I don't think it should be. I'm like, why?
Right. Right.
What's wrong with it? But I had to get rid of the words good and bad. But good and bad, who can say? You know? It's just different. It's just a different perspective. That's what reality is, perspective. So if someone says, I don't really know about this, try to see it from their perspective instead of seeing it as bad. And that's helped me a lot.
Okay, Jim. Facts. All right. I can see that. Yeah. Thank you for that. That's actually really good.
No problem.